American Airlines, as you mentioned this morning, announcing a deal to improve one of the worst parts of flying, getting to the airport. Now, in New York and L.A., American is teaming up with Blade to helicopter customers to the airport. They will then be driven to first-class check-in. After getting expedited security, they can hang out at American's lounge. Now, at LAX, for an additional $1,200 for 2 people, passengers can also be driven to the private suite. That's a VIP terminal typically used by celebrities, overseas royals, lots of VIPs. There you get faster security screening. Now, Blade's going to be running regular choppers from its 3 terminals in Manhattan to JFK. That flight only takes 5 minutes. Now, to LAX, it will fly from a terminal next to the Staples Center downtown. All right, so what is it all going to cost? The Blade trip is $195 a person if you buy a single seat, or if you charter a whole helicopter for 6 people, it's between $695 and $1,350. Now, the American Airlines service, that's called 5-star, is an additional $350 for the first passenger and $100 after that for add-ons. So if you're flying alone, it's $545 for the whole kit and caboodle.
Robert, stick around.
Yep.
Because we do have some special guests to join us. Robert Wiesenthal is here. He's a founder and CEO of Blade, and Janelle Anderson, Vice President of Global Marketing for American Airlines. You've done this before with a couple other airlines. Am I crazy? I want to say that you did this with Delta at one point.
We did with Delta at one point.
Are you still doing it with Delta?
Not at this time.
Okay. So tell me how you got to this point, and the question is, how many people do you think are going to use the service?
Well, I think that right now for our customer base, and there's a lot of LA to New York flying.
Right.
Right. And for the very first time, to be able to fly from downtown LA, which is actually enjoying a resurgence, from the top of a Blade helicopter lounge, on top of a building, literally going straight to Manhattan without ever being in a car that hits the road is pretty amazing. And a lot of our flyers are doing that route, and American has really the true first-class service from LA to New York, 2 really important hubs. And as we get the price point down, I think at $195, you're really at that black car barrier, that kind of SUV ride-sharing car price. So I think you're going to see a nice take-up rate.
So what percentage of passengers on a given LAX to New York or New York to LAX flight in business class or first class do you think are going to avail themselves of this?
Well, right now what we hear from our customers is they're absolutely looking for extensions and way to save time, and this is a perfect extension for them. We hear it all the time from our frequent flyers that use those kind of services, and in LA, the private and luxury experience is really valuable to some of our key flyers.
And can you talk about the economics of how this works?
Sure.
Does American subsidize you? Are you subsidizing them?
These are
what's
two
the deal
separate
here?
purchases. In other words, what we're doing is we needed connectivity once you got to the airport. We're taking a 2-hour drive and turning it into a 5-minute flight. From the west side, next to Hudson Yards, where it's a city within a city, 40,000 people.
2-hour drive? Well, it depends what time you're going.
Well, west side, all the way west side.
Okay.
For Hudson Yards, you're going to have KKR, Cravath, Time Warner, HBO, literally 1,000 feet away. To walk from your office, get in a helicopter, 5-minute flight, and then to have that integration with American, I mean, that's really important, getting you all the way to the seat.
If the helicopter only has 1 person on it, there were 2 people on, I mean, at what point?
It's $195.
Right,
yeah.
But for you,
yeah.
What's the cost?
You know,
why did you terminate your relationship with Delta? Was there a lot of demand for that?
I think, right now, this is a relationship that makes sense for Blade and for American. And I think having that true first-class service, coast to coast, and also to be able to kind of replicate the concierge key highest level of service that you may not be in as an American customer through our venture is really what's exciting. But it is utilization. So in terms of the economics, it requires utilization. But we're using a helicopter provided by Bell to explore urban air mobility, where they're using data to really figure out what the next generation type of rotorcraft will look like in eVTOL in New York City.
Only works on the LAX New York
No, you
path?
can fly.
If I can use it for any American flight?
You can use it for any American flight. And obviously, Blade caters to customers who go on all airlines, but this integration is only available on American.
$195 seems really cheap. So how did you get to $195? And is $195 what you're going to start with, and then later on it's going to be something else? Or what's the plan?
Well, charters start at $695 and go up to $1,250.
For the whole aircraft.
Correct. But the way the economics are also working, for the very first time, Blade is flying people from the airport back. So the economics are also based on what you'd call the deadhead coming back, too. And so it's, as a 5-minute flight, it actually isn't that costly, especially with the relationship with Bell.
You're saying, okay, just so I understand, you're saying you're going to capture people on the flight out and the flight back.
Correct.
And how do you guarantee that you're going to have people on both flights?
There's no guarantee, just like there's no guarantee on an American flight how many people you're going to have. But it requires utilization, marketing, and promotion. But we think it's once you're now getting to that black card barrier of $175. So.
And is this arrangement exclusive? Can other airlines? I mean, for you guys,
you can, if you fly Blade, you can fly to any airline, but only with the American deal do you have this true integration, where we are literally connecting to someone who's bringing you all the way to your seat.
Our premium customer service rep will meet you when you land and get you to the beginning of the lines and get you right to our lounge and or the gate much more quickly. Same thing on the return flight. If you're coming in, they'll meet you and they'll get you expedited right to the helicopter. And it really is an amazing time saver and an extension of our 5-star services that our customers love so much.